Gotta show the peeps everywhere the updates for the day on the reactor. I'm gonna show everybody, man, because we got some good work in today. You said, how's it going today? What do you have planned for today? Today, 1 second. Let me say this when his Instagram is loaded up. His Instagram is pretty much almost done now. What we're gonna be doing today, what the agenda is today. Well, today, folks, we're gonna be pressure testing the reactor. That's right. All those welds you saw me doing all these times before, now they come to the point where we make sure that these welds actually hold up. And they're not just for show. We got to make sure the welds are actually going to keep the reactor airtight. Because you know what we do around here? We have no emissions. We have no pollution from the machine. Because it's airtight. Because it's sealed. It's a hermetically sealed chamber, baby. So we got to do a pressure test. I got an air compressor. You said what kind of water? I have a Lincoln Electric. Is it dangerous to test it? No, it's not, because we're just putting air in there. So if there is a leak, it's not gonna do some type of crazy thing. You said you guys can't hear me? I think that might be on your end because I can hear myself pretty well. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. You said word of the day. Word of the day is pressure, because we gotta make sure that this thing has no air escaping under pressure, and make sure it can also hold pressure. Listen, guys. This is one of the most important parts of this reactor. Why? If this reactor has leaks, we're creating pollution. We're creating issues. We're creating emissions. But when the machine is completely airtight, no pollution, no emissions, we capture and control everything. So it's very, very important. Okay? And I always like to thank you guys, every live stream, for all your support that got us to this point. Anybody that wants to help out the project, we got the Cash App pinned in the chats. I appreciate every and all donations because that's how we're here today. You said my hair looks stressed. Yeah, I've been working all day. You see, guys, I gave her a lift kit. Look at this. Vroom, vroom, look at that. She's on wheels now. Let me tell you something. It was not easy putting her on wheels because she's a heavy little stallion, is she? I'll tell you right now. It's a long, big black thing. And what do you think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to be? A long, big, black thing in my backyard. You think it's going to be lightweight? No, mate. This right here is a hefty heifer if I've ever seen one. So, yeah, it was a little bit of an effort to put those wheels on, but we got it. And, I mean, she's looking better than ever. Take a look at... the size comparison between this and Mark IV. It's just crazy. Like, I'm still in disbelief. I'm still in disbelief at just, like, the size. Like, look at that thing. Oh, my goodness. Oh, crikey. Crikey. It fills up the whole camera. Imagine what it's going to do to your mouth. Come on. Looks like we're going to have a new punishment for people that get my test questions wrong. We'll shove this down their bloody esophagus. I don't even have to put my balls down there anymore. We got a huge upgrade here to the punishment system. So, but I mean, obviously, guys, as you can tell, we're closer than ever to finishing. Because honestly, we're going to do this pressure test, right? Let's say it works well, it holds pressure, good. Guess what? Then we're right on to the next stuff. We're right on to the valves and the fittings and all the plumbing and pipes, because we know it's not going to have any leaks, right? Then after that, built the blades, motors, electronics, machine's pretty much done, right? At that point. And it's at least ready for a test run, right? It's at that stage where it could be test run. We can literally put plastic in and literally get fuels out. You said you could take it? You could try. Come over here, and there will be a lot more than just a machine you'll be catching. I'll say it like that. You won't. It'll be a lot more than Pokemon you'll be catching if you come over to my bloody house. Memory, thank you for the badge. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much, Memory, for your support and your belief in the project. Yes, Gakuna, it's going crazy. We're going crazy. How much pressure inside when it's running? That's a great question. So, what will be the operating pressures of this machine? So, these machines actually operate under very little pressure. Thank you for the donations on TikTok, guys. Thank you, the Kai Garden fam on TikTok for the donations. Thank you, Hori Hacks, for the donations on TikTok. I appreciate everybody who's donated. You guys make this project possible. Thank you so much. So, listen, though. These machines, when they're actually operating, turning plastic waste into fuel, they operate under very little actual pressure, right? They operate probably under 3 psi of pressure. That's literally 10 times less than a tire, right? So it's very little. Nisi the Jaguar, thank you for the badge so much on Instagram. I appreciate you, Nisi the Jaguar, for your support of the project. So, very little pressure, right? But the thing is, when you load plastics in, the microwaves and the heat immediately gangbangs the plastic, breaks apart, and then it releases a ton of vapors. So a pressure spike happens, jumps up to at least about 10 psi for a little bit. So we got to make sure this thing can withstand at least 10 psi of pressure. No matter what upgrade we put on here, it always has to, withstand that much at the minimum. But 10 psi is nothing. You know why? Because these propane tanks, right? These propane tanks here. Thank you for the badge, Ronate, on the Instagram. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you. And thank you as well, James Cardone, for the $5 on Cash App. I appreciate you guys so much for the donations. Thank you, Dorquito, for the badge on the Instagram. Thank you for the donations on TikTok, guys, as well. Let me see who donated on TikTok. Terry Riley, thank you. Thank you, Terry Riley. Thank you, Hori Hacks. Thank you guys so much. So, thank you, the dude, as well, for the donations on TikTok. Listen, guys, where was I going to, right? It doesn't operate under all that much pressure, but it has to have a minimum rated pressure that it can go up to, right? And, like I said, we want at least 10 psi, make sure we have no leaks there. But the good thing is this, right? We made this out of propane tanks, right? Propane tanks can go up to 200 psi. So, as long as my welds are good, we're good. Thank you for the badge, Matt Dixon on Instagram, and thank you, Fly Bing Bong, for the badges. Thank you for the badges, guys, so much. Thank you, Walk a Mile in My Shoes, for the badge on Instagram. Hey, you guys are showing some crazy love. Thank you all so much. Let me see Facebook here. What's up, guys, on Facebook? What's up, Brennan? What's up, Brett? What's up, Angie? I can help you with welding, brother. You're in Georgia. How do you fix microwaves if the junkyards without fear of radiation exposure? Because microwaves are not radioactive. Microwaves actually are non-ionizing radiation, which means they don't cause cancer, they don't cause DNA damage. So we don't have to worry about that, fortunately. Zach, thank you so much for the bloody badge, Zach. Thank you. What's up, Brennan on Facebook? So yeah, that's how much pressure. Yeah, other than that, I mean, honestly, here's the thing, right? We're going to hook up this pressure test right now. And it's really going to be nothing. Like, you're not going to see anything. You're just going to hear air go in. And then pretty much at that point, we're going to take some soapy water solution, spray it around the weld, see if any bubble up happened. You're going to see some little bubbles, but what we look for are if any big bubbles form that are like consistently growing. That means the air is pushing them through. It's kind of like when you blow on a bubble stick, right? It's going to push the bubbles through. So we're going to spray that, and that's pretty much it. I mean, once we do that, we just got to wait and see if it holds pressure, and I'll just be letting you guys in to ask your questions while we're waiting, because it really ain't much to see. You know what I'm saying? But let me get the air compressor, because it's right here. And we got, another thing is too, right? I have to also make sure that the manway, the lid on this thing on the end, that this is put on there right. Because I could have no leaks on my welds, but this could be leaking. And, but we're going to spray it, and we're going to see. And also, we're going to be putting in quite a bit of PSI of air. Like I said, about 10 PSI. So if it's leaking, I'll at least be able to hear it. Maybe you won't, but I'll be able to hear it. So let's do this, guys. Let's go ahead, hook up this. It's going to be pretty self-explanatory. There we go. Yeah. So this is an air compressor. It has about 150 psi of air in it. We're gonna just put about 10 psi in here, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty fine and dandy, just like that. Can you guys hear it going in? Can you hear the air going in? Can you even hear it? The air's going in there right now. Let's see. We're building up pressure. We're just under 1 psi. So that's a good sign, because if you're building up pressure, that means that there's no big leaks. But now the true tests are little pinholes, little tiny leaks. You know what I'm saying? But it's on. The air's on. You guys hear it going in. So we're at 3 psi right now. 3 psi. So like a bicycle tire, pretty much. Thank you. Let me see. Who just donated on TikTok? Let me make sure I'm trying to make sure I appreciate everybody here. I just saw the dude's name pop up and I missed it. Oh, Horror Hacks. Thank you again, Horror Hacks, for the donations. Thank you for the badge. Fern Pizarro on Instagram. Let's see what we're at. We're at 7 psi, 7.5 psi. We got a Cash App. Let me make sure I caught that here. We got $15 from Nicole Hines. Thank you so much, Nicole Hines, for the $15. She said, I believe in you. Thank you. It means so much to me. Aiden, thank you for the donations. Let's see what psi we're at. We're at 9 psi, so we just need one more psi to go. Oh, it's starting to slow down. Let's turn it up a little bit. We're almost there. 9.5 psi. 9.6. Oh, it's slowing down. We may not have enough air in the air compressor. It's at 9 points. All right, so it got up to 9.8. It got up to 9.8 psi. That's close enough. So now let's do our little test, right? Let's do our little test. All right. So this is soap and water. Soap and water in this bottle. We're going to spray this on every single weld. We're going to spray this on the manway. And if there's a leak, what's going to happen is you're going to see bubbles being blown out, pretty much, right? So you'll visually see it. But if there's no leak, you're just going to see this. So there's no leaks over here. There's no bubbles being formed, right? There's nothing there, right? Check here as well. Nope, no leaks right here. We got to check the manway weld as well. It said boom. Right now it's under almost 10 psi of pressure. No explosions yet. Let's check the manway weld. Looking good, guys. I ain't seeing no leaks. I got to go on the other side. You guys won't be able to see when I'm spraying the other side, but I'll let you guys know. No bloody leaks. We would hear it too. Trust me, if this thing was leaking, you would hear it, because it would be such a little pinhole leak. It would be like a high pitch. Hey, Memory, thank you for the 500 stars on Facebook. I appreciate you so much, Memory, on the for the donation on Facebook. Thank you so much. Thank you for the donation. You said Facebook has less lag. Well, yeah, guys, we're live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So if one of them is lagging or acting weird, just head on to the different ones. So, guys, I gotta check the underside too, to make sure that we don't got leaks under there. But trust me, we would hear it by now. I don't hear any leaks, so it's looking good. Nope, no bubbles. There we go, guys. We don't got any leaks. No leaks. Miami, MWA, thank you for the badge on Instagram so much. I appreciate you guys. Oh, I'm muted. Oh, well, the Facebook went out. The Facebook sound went out completely. Oh, how bloody beautiful, isn't it? But, guys, we got no leaks in the Mark 4.5. Hey, that's a W right there, because those were a lot of welds we did. All right, we got to restart the Facebook Live because the audio went out. That's frustrating. That's frustrating for sure, but hey, it's okay though. It's okay because we're gonna start it right back up. We can only be postponed. So we got some PSI of air in there. But guys, seriously, let me tell you something. To have no leaks is huge. And I'll tell you why. We have 3 welt joints, okay? And they're big welt joints too. That, there's a lot of surface area. It's not easy because like when you have to weld and keep it airtight, it's a different, you're not just welding to make it stick together. Now you're welding and truly sealing it. That's not easy to do. So I'm very pleased to see that we have no leaks. Right now it has pressure. In fact, let me prove to you guys this thing is holding pressure, okay? Let me prove to you guys. Watch this. I'm gonna do something for you. I'm gonna prove to you right now this is holding pressure. You saw we put the air in there a little bit ago. Watch this. Let me flip it back here. And I'll open up this valve here. Watch this. Listen. Everybody. Shh. There we go. It's holding pressure, baby. Right now, we just dropped it a PSI. It's at 8 PSI right now, but you saw it right there. We got pressure holding in the tank. Airtight, baby. Hermetically sealed. You know what it is. Hey, now guess what? You know what that means? No emissions, no pollution, no waste. This machine right here is set. We're not going to have any leaks of pyrolysis gas in this reactor. If you guys want to come in and ask questions on Instagram, you can come in and ask your questions. We're going to just let this thing sit, let that air just simmer around in there, and I'll be answering questions. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry on the Facebook, the audio had gone out. I'm sorry, guys. I had like clicked on something and it said something about like the audio broadcast. I was like, oh, it's just some gibberish. Ain't nothing horrible or nothing bad is gonna happen on that. But then the audio completely went out. So yeah, I'll answer you guys' questions. You can request to come in because now we're pretty much just gonna wait it out, make sure no leaks pop up or anything. But in the meantime, we're just chilling. Really, that was the main big thing. That's what's up. We did that. Yo, my boy Giovanni, what's up, man?
What's up? I'm in my garage right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can show me your condenser right now.
All right. Well, I gotta get. Actually, I grabbed this too. I gotta get some parts. So I got kind of scattered out here. This is live big or whatever you want to call that. This is that part right here.
Yeah.
Then I just made this piece right here, which slips up on top of it.
So you can screw it into the pipes.
Yep, exactly.
This is Gio off of TikTok. Guys, right now, Gio off of TikTok is on the Instagram live showing us because he's building a microwave pyrolysis reactor. W to Gio. W to Gio, guys.
So I got that part on. So now I can hook up this piece right here, which goes into the machine.
Thank you, Brandon.
And then, if I'm not wrong, so I'm working currently on, I think it's my actual piece I was working on with the valve, and it's over there right now. But this piece would go right here, and there'd be this right here with a cap on it, which would allow me to screw that into place over here on the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another valve on the bottom of this, and then it goes over to here. So if I'm not wrong, all the oils would be in here and would be able to get drained out, and the actual like natural gases or gas
right
through here.
Yeah, and what you want to do is, you see how that has that T at the bottom, right? You want to have that set and go into some type of container, so that way you can or if you don't want to go into a container, you could just put a valve there, and the oils are just build in that little T, and then you can open the valve at the end and get your oils out. That was what my original condenser was like.
So I just went and grabbed it right quick. So here's the actual piece that goes in the bottom, which allows me to still unscrew it. So it's threaded, and then this would go here, and this piece
man, that looks good. That's gonna work great. That's just like my original one, pretty much. I use the same PVC stuff. That's good.
Okay. And then I do have to get another one for over here because I think in your design it went back up, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it went back up, and the reason why it went back up was because if there were any gases that didn't get condensed, I wanted them to have to kind of fight to go uphill to hopefully kind of trickle back down, and they'd fall back down into the actual T. That's why I made it go back up.
Okay. And then I remember one time we were talking about how if you were to light the gas that was coming out, that there would be a possibility of it shooting back into the tank pretty much and blowing up.
Yeah, only if you have oxygen in there.
Okay. Well, when the gases, if I were to light the gases coming out of it, you said that if I didn't have something keeping it from actually shooting
Oh,
back
yeah, a
up,
flashback arrestor. You got to put some steel wool in the pipes.
Yeah, so steel wool goes here.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not wrong, it was, I forgot the name of it, zeolite and carbon.
Yep, zeolite activated carbon. Yep.
And then, yep. And then the other one was kitty litter.
Yep, you have another one, kitty litter, and then the gases you get out at the end will be they're going to be clear. If your gases come out and they look white and cloudy, that means that you either have oils in them or contaminations that you didn't filter out properly. It needs to be completely invisible. So that's the best way to know.
Okay.
And it should smell good too. They shouldn't smell like horrible, right? They should smell pretty clean because you put them through those filters.
All right, and then would an airlock work instead of a flashback arrestor?
An airlock would work, but if you have an airlock, well, yeah, an airlock would work.
Well,
but the issue with an airlock, right?
Copper.
If you make an airlock, here's what the issue is. If you close off a certain area, you might have no oxygen in the area that's not been blocked off, but the area that is blocked off might have oxygen in it. So I think that it's actually best to just put a good flashback arrestor and make sure you push out as much oxygen as you can before you light that flame at the end. Go over than to go under, so that way you don't have any explosion issues, right? To be honest, right? I don't know what's the size of the machine you're building. Are you making it out of a propane tank, like a little small one?
Yep. Well, thanks. What?
Okay, so look. That propane tank there, right? It has very little space in it, right? Very little volume. Okay. So since it has so little volume, there's barely any air in there. So just after a few seconds of pumping in any gas, almost all the oxygen will be out. So the chances of that exploding are next to nothing. Thank you for the $5, Quan, on Cash App. Thank you so much. So, obviously when you build machines, you start to get bigger, like this one right here, she explodes. It's going to be the 4th of July, right? But that one right there in particular, you just push out the air for a little bit. Make sure we put the steel wool in there as a backup, Most of the time, you're never going to have those explosions, but if you do, that won't happen, man. But was that pretty much your question there?
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, the condenser looks good, and I'll look on it further after my live stream, and I'll be texting you about it. All right, man. But look, props to you, mad respect to you. Once again, everybody that just joined in doesn't know what's going on. This guy in here, WGO, because he is building a microwave pyrolysis reactor. That's what we're all about. We're all about education and inspiration. If everybody's doing it in the world, they can't stop it. So much respect to you, Gio. Peace and love, brother. You take care, man.
Yes, you too.
Thank you. All right, guys, look. We were talking for a little bit, right? Let's see if it's still pressurized, okay? Let's see if air is still in here. Because if it's still pressurized and there's still air in there, right, that means it's holding pressure. Let's see, guys. Let's turn around. Let's see. What do you guys think? What you guys need to vote, okay? Do you guys think my welds made this reactor airtight? All right, do you think we're going to have pressure? 1, if yes. 2, if no. You tell me. And you're about to see. We're about to see. Is there still air in here? Is there still pressure? Gio is in the Instagram chat, guys, on Facebook. 1. Oh, okay. Everybody's saying 1. Well, let's see. Let's see if you guys are right or if you're wrong. Oh, there's pressure in there. All right. There's some pressure. Ooh, a lot. We just dropped it down to 7 psi, so it was still sat there at 8 psi the whole time. Look at that, guys. We got pressure in it, in the tank. It's holding pressure. Let's go. No leaks means full pressure. That's exactly what I'm saying. We pumped it up to about 10 psi, sprayed it with the bubbles. We didn't have leaks. We just haven't sat here with air in it while we're talking. Oh, look, it's going to move my hair. Watch. Yo, it's working. It's working, guys. We got this stuff going. So thank you guys so much, man. Because look. We got these propane tanks thanks to you guys and your belief in this project and your donations. We got this manway thanks to you guys and your donations and the belief in this project. So this is what I'm talking about, the manway, right? This opens, okay? Everything else on this machine right now is sealed. It's in moving. It's not going anywhere. This will open and close, right? But yet we still have it airtight. That's essential because we're going to ram some blades in this thing's mouth, right? And when we ram the blades in there, we need to be able to open it to get the blades in, but close it when the blades are in and make sure that it's still just as airtight. So that's what we want to see, guys. That's what we want to see right there. Yeah, we got it on wheels too. Give it a little lift, kid. It's even taller now. I mean, this thing was already tall enough before, but it's tall now. It's tall now. And, we don't even have the pipes. Honestly, when it comes to loading plastic in, I'm going to have to be on a step stool to load this plastic in. You said make 2 layers to avoid leaks like bike tires. Well, that's the point of doing 6 welds on everything. Because we did pretty much 6 layers of welds. I know you're probably talking about like putting a case over this, but no. We don't have to do all that. That's why you do so many welds, because it's the equivalent of because technically just one good weld will make it airtight. But I did 6 because I'm not playing this game, How do you seal it up with the blades moving? That's a great question, Amari. That's a great question. How in the world are we going to put the blades in there? The blades are going to be on a spinning shaft, and yet it's going to stay sealed. We've done this before. It's an engineering dilemma that you have to solve, and we actually did it with Mark IV. My Mark IV plastic to fuel reactor. Let me get it for you guys, because it's just right back here. You can just tell the size difference. You can tell who's Drake. You can tell who's Drake here. Who's the Drake in this relationship. Thank you, Cassandra, for the $10 on Cash App. I appreciate your donation and the contribution to Mark 4.5 and to history. So, listen, guys. This was the shaft of Mark IV. This is how the blade spun in there. We had this hooked up to a motor, right? How in the world do we have this shaft that's obviously coming out of the machine, out of a hole, and is also spinning? How do we keep it so this isn't leaking? It's actually kind of difficult, I won't lie. You have to essentially... It's going to make a lot more sense when we're actually doing it, because I can't really zoom in and show you as closely as I can when we're building it on Mark 4.5 here. But essentially, you have to put certain seals around the shaft, right? Like, think about them like pretty much rubber gaskets. They get compressed by springs. So that way, even though the shaft is spinning, the springs keep compressing it down, compressing the gasket down, and it's super tight, a super tight gasket around it, right? And essentially, that allows it to spin while also being airtight, because the spring is consistently putting force on it because as it rotates, it kind of wants to press out. But as it's pressing out, the springs are pressing in on it. So I had to do a lot of research to figure that out. I won't lie. Like, honestly, when we were coming up with the design all these years ago for the Mark IV reactor, just going from a reactor with no blades to one with blades, that was one of the things that tripped me up for months, just trying to figure out, like, how can we put blades in there that spin and a shaft while keeping it airtight? But that already exists. Fortunately, I was able to look up industries and see what they already do in like boats and propellers and stuff, for example. Because obviously, think about a submarine, right? It has a shaft for the propeller, that spins, but water's not getting in. They have to use the same type of engineering. So that's the good thing about this technology, guys. I say it all the time. You know, this technology, we're just putting together things that already exist. We're just we're creating Frankenstein, right? Out of the cryptids that already existed, essentially, right? Because, I mean, look, microwaves already existed, pressure vessels already existed, pyrolysis already existed, reactors already existed. We're just putting all of it together to make one beautiful baby that turns plastic waste into bloody fuel. So that's the best part, because since we are putting together things that already exist, you know, it's not that, you know, when it comes to research, even though, you know, up to this point, if you were to look at how to make a microwave pyrolysis reactor in your backyard, the only person you would find doing it was me. And when I was looking it up, nobody else was doing it, and I had to just come up with it on my own. I was fortunately able to get a lot of wisdom from industries that already exist, you know, and the techniques and technologies they already use. You know, I looked up a lot of different types of microwave industrial plants, a lot of different types of reactors, like medical reactors that already exist. So that's all it is. Hey, guys on Instagram, if you guys want to come in, ask questions, you can request to join in. We're pretty much just chilling now because we're just waiting on this tank. We just, you know, we're seeing if it's going to hold pressure and how long will it hold pressure. I mean, it should hold pressure the whole live stream, right? You know, so if you want to come and ask your questions, same on TikTok as well, guys. You guys just want to come and ask questions, come on and ask your questions. He said, there he is, the man, the myth, my guy with the dreads and pyrolysis in his head, putting doubters to bed. Maybe Nobel Prize with burgers and fries, but only if they're organic, my guy. Hey, that was pretty good there, Chris. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You said you sent me an email, Brennan? All right. You sent me an email the other day. Yeah, perhaps my team got to look over it. I'll have to see, Brennan, but I'll be taking a look. I'll be taking a look for sure. But thank you, man, for your support. How do you pressurize it? We put compressed air in there. Yeah, he dropped a poem. You dropped a poem, Chris, on Facebook. I appreciate that, man. I like that. What's up, Dweez Droid? How much? Oh, yeah, I answered that. What do the microwaves do that heater elements don't? The microwaves heat from the inside out. And microwaves are one of the only technologies that will heat from the inside out. So heater elements, I mean, you know, everything is going to heat up the plastic and eventually break it down. But it comes down to how much energy are you wasting to do that, right? So, you know, if we were trying to do this the traditional way, right, we would take a propane burner and stick it under the reactor. And then the heat has to go from the propane burner to the bottom of the reactor, from the bottom of the reactor to the inside of the reactor, from the inside of the reactor to the inside of the plastic, and from the inside of the plastic to the rest of the plastic. And then while it does all that, it's going to be heating up the whole metal container at the same time. Microwaves literally just heat up the plastic, just what you want. So that's the real difference. You got to think of, when you think about all the heat transfers, microwaves are going to beat it every time. And you could test that yourself in your house. Just go in your house, put a hot pocket in your oven versus your microwave. What's going to heat up quicker every bloody time? A microwave will cook it quicker, because the microwave is not heating up the whole body, the whole air around it, just to heat up the hot pocket. It's heating up just the hot pocket, just like that. That's why microwave ovens are very efficient, probably one of the most efficient forms of cooking in your kitchen, and that's the same reason why they're going to be one of the most efficient ways of doing pyrolysis on any scale, home or industrial. Is pressure required for pyrolysis? No, pressure is not required, but pressure does make it more efficient, because with pressure comes heat, with heat comes pressure. So the more pressure you have, the less heat you have to put in to break down the plastic. So if you could actually have a machine that operates on high pressures, you have to put in even less electricity or even less heat energy to break down the plastic to the same degree. So, and then the pressure kind of builds on itself, because as the plastic breaks down, it becomes a vapor, which will make pressure, right? So it's not like you have to put extra energy in to get more pressure. You just have to, you know, seal the exits or whatever, or make something have more clogs or whatever, kind of make the pipes thinner or whatever you do to put more pressure. I personally prefer if my reactors can operate between 3 and 5 psi at all times. So that way we have some pressure for sure. In fact, you could actually make it so the machine operates at a high enough pressure to where, like, the gas that comes out could be put right into a generator. You don't have to have a compressor or a vacuum or nothing. It can go right in the way it is, right? But you know, depends. Now, personally, this machine right here, Mark 4.5, is going to have 12 magnetrons on it, the equivalent of turning 12 microwaves on at once, or at least 8, right? At least 8. That's a lot of power, and that's a lot of microwave degradation to the plastic. So what's going to happen is we turn all those microwaves on, the plastics are going to, like we always say, man, they get bloody gang banged. Come on now. They get gang banged. And it's going to happen so quick. There's going to be so many vapors that come out at once. It's going to, this machine is going to operate under some pressure, right? Quite some pressure. And on top of that, it's going to be continuous, meaning we can load plastic in while it's running. And this machine, once it gets up to temperature, it's hot, microwaves are in, you load plastic in, boom, the plastics are going to break down almost immediately and create a ton of vapor, just like that. So that's exactly what's going to happen. Because for reference, guys, let me tell you guys, because we're all about improving, right? We're all about improving. Okay? Improvement is what we do. Obviously, this is bigger, okay? That doesn't always mean it's better. Unless it's my balls in your mouth. Then the bigger, the better. But that's not the case with this. What makes this better? It's not just that it's bigger. What makes it better is that this machine was a batch machine. Mark IV was a batch machine. That means we could only put plastic in this machine after it was cooled down, after it was off. That's a lot of energy wasted every time. Because when you have the machine up to temperature, why would you let it cool all the way down to put plastic? That's the perfect time to put plastic in once it reaches up to temperature, because it's just like when you have a car. The most energy in a car is when you go from a red light and you have to start all over again. It's way less energy to just stay cruising at a high speed. Once this thing is hot, it's way less energy input to keep it at that temperature, right? So when it's hot, that's the perfect time to put plastic in, but we couldn't do that with this one. We had to wait for it to cool all the way down before we could put more plastic in. We're solving that with this machine here because we can load plastic in while the machine is running, because thanks to you guys and your donations, like I always say, I thank you guys so much, we're able to get these tri-clamp fittings, and we have a whole set of pneumatic valves that operate off of compressed air that are going to allow us to load plastic in while this is running, right? Now this right here is actually going to be the output of the vapors, right? We're going to put this output about right here. You can already see, I mean, this machine was already big enough, but now we're going to put even more things on it to make it nice and tall. So, I mean, I'm just like, come on, at this point, this machine is just, we're going to have to put on bloody stilts to operate this thing. Come on now. So, guys, I mean, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited to see this machine operate, even on a test run level. Hello?
Yo, okay, so what you just said, right or wrong, that you were the first person to put all this together, right?
No, I did not say that.
You did. I like, you're gonna save this live, right? So we can go back and watch it.
I said I'm the first. I said I'm the first person to put it together in a backyard at home. That's different.
Okay, so you're not the first person to do that.
Yeah.
I've DM'd you multiple times. I have an 09 diesel engine from out of the Dodge Cummins. I'm willing to vacuum I'll spend my own money, drive the truck to you, vacuum all fuel lines, fuel pump, fuel filter, all that, and we will use your diesel that you're making. And if that, can we drive it 100 miles?
Yeah, for sure. Well, we can drive 100 miles once this machine makes some more diesel.
All right, well, we'll respond to my DMs and we'll set something up. I'll spend my own money to travel to you.
Well, here's the thing. I probably won't find your DM. It'll work a lot better if you send me an email.
I'll send you an email. That's
okay.
Fine.
Yeah, but for sure we can do that. You know, we can do that because what the issue was before with Mark IV, we had the electrical fire, so we only had so much diesel. But now that we're building the next one, we can have as much diesel as we want to drive 100 miles, 1,000 miles.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to say that you're wrong or you're not onto something, but I am saying that I have a diesel engine.
Okay.
And I know how the diesel engine works. I'm a diesel mechanic.
Okay.
And diesel fuel tends to get trapped in the fuel system,
Mm-hmm.
and with starting the truck and letting it idle and run through a parking lot isn't really necessarily proving that this diesel fuel works and can be used for a diesel engine.
Okay, that's fair enough. We'll do that test, man. Hey, listen, I appreciate you for, wanting to, be willing to take the sacrifice and put your engine on the line. I don't think it's at risk, of course, but I appreciate that. We'll definitely get that set up for sure.
Yeah, I'll send you an email
Okay.
in a couple minutes.
All right, man. Hey, much
All right,
love and
thanks,
respect, man. Much love and respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting because we also have a few other opportunities set up once this machine makes fuel as well. Jet engine we're gonna run. I'm of course gonna be running my car off of it, my gas car, my petrol, gasoline, and then also I got this guy that has a race truck out in San Diego and such, right? And he said he's interested in running his race truck off of the diesel as well. So we got a lot of opportunities and collapse it up. I also want to get something set up with some race cars, so it's quite exciting because, what happened, guys? I know so many of you guys are new here, so I'm going to break down what happened. All right, look at Mark IV. Rusty, right? Rusty Mark IV. Thank you for the badge. Let me see you about the badge. So, Mark IV, right, had an electrical fire happen. Okay, the machine itself did not catch on fire, did not explode. The machine itself is complete. The machine itself is actually completely fine. The only reason it's rusting is because I left it outside for about a year now, right? It had an electrical fire. This machine operated off of 3 microwave transformers, the equivalent of 3 microwave ovens, right? They overheated, they caught on fire. I had them submerged in oil to cool them down. They caught the oil on fire, almost burned down my house, right? When this machine burned down, I only had I had a little bit of fuel left over, okay? I had some gasoline, enough to run some weed whacker, small engines, some jet fuel, and then mostly diesel. About half a gallon of diesel left, right? So pretty much for a whole year, because the machine burned down and my parents were like, you are not going to build another machine and have it running here because this is dangerous. We're not going to have our whole bloody house burned down because of your mad experiments, you twat. So I was like, okay, that's fair enough. Obviously, I almost burned down the house, so I can't really get mad at you for that. But we had that half gallon, and I was just like, man, I was trying to get a diesel car for so long because I was like, I know this is barely enough, but I feel like it's at least enough because we ran a diesel go-kart engine, right? We ran a diesel go-kart engine. It ran fine. So I'm like, well, we want to run a diesel car next, right? Of course. So we were waiting for a year, just going back and forth, trying to get that diesel truck. And that was always what it was because I have a gas car, right? If it were up to me, of course, I'd put it in my car right away if I had enough. But we didn't have enough gas. We only had enough diesel. Plastic makes gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel, all 3. And it mostly, in my experience, it mostly makes diesel, which is actually good because diesel is the most valuable between the 3 fuel. Well, probably jet fuel, but I digress because jet fuel is actually kind of very similar to diesel, which is really filtered and stuff. Anyways, I digress. The point is I'm trying to make is we had this whole arc of a story where we need to get a diesel truck, and I just had barely any diesel left because I didn't have another reactor built. And then we finally got the truck and we ran it, right? And according to the guy that just came in here, the diesel mechanic, he said that was not proof enough of it working. Hey, listen, I'm not a diesel mechanic. I understand gas engines better, so I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna speak over on what he said, but I will say from what I saw and everybody else saw, the truck it ran great. But we're gonna do further tests. He said he's gonna give the engine, and we're gonna do a 100-mile test on. I think that's the best way to do it, because then that completely erases room for variables or errors or whatever, right? So anyways, that's the whole story of the diesel and why we only had half a gallon, and then this machine, and then that, I had my YouTube video, right? I had a YouTube video that had been out for over a year now when I showed me making the diesel, me distilling it, all that. But when I came back and I ran the diesel truck, the diesel had been around, right? Sitting around for about a year and a half, right? So at that point, I was like, I don't even know if it's going to work. It did work, right? It still burns just fine. But nonetheless, we had a limited amount, and we couldn't make more. It was a very scarce resource, because because we couldn't make more at the time. But now we can make more. We can make all we want. Because we're about to have the Big Bertha. The big black schlong right here. You said if the diesel mechanic could do a tear down and post-run analysis on the engine, that'll go a long way. Yeah, for sure, that would go a long way. Because a lot of people were like, well, is it going to damage the engine long term? Is it going to, is it going to clog the injectors? We want to see that. We want to see that for sure. All that type of stuff. We definitely want to make sure that we get all those types of things and variables set. Because, like, okay, if it does clog the fuel injectors, one person, a pessimist, might say, oh my goodness, it clogs the fuel injectors. You will never make this machine work. That's proof that this fuel will never work in the market, and it's an absolute scam. A pessimist would say that. But somebody who's a realist would say, okay, it clogs the fuel injectors. What is the chemical property that is doing that? Let us figure out how we could remove that, if that's possible. What can we add? Can we add an additive that might stop that or break it up and make that not happen, right? That's the difference. Are you a pessimist or are you a realist, right? Because I'll tell you right now, no matter what you are, if we don't get the plastics out of our oceans, it's going to be really bad. And I think it's always better to be a realist than to be a pessimist. Because if you're a pessimist, you ain't getting nothing done. You just sat there yapping about everything that's wrong. Give us some solutions. Give us the alternative. Okay, anybody can sit there and say everything that's wrong with anything, but can everybody give a solution and alternative? No. That's what makes you real. You can give a solution. If you can give the problem and the solution. And that's how I got to where I am now, because I saw a problem, plastics in the oceans. I saw a problem, pyrolysis, which is the only way I knew of how to deal with any type of plastic in a safe way, was inefficient. What's the solution? Solution is microwave pyrolysis reactor. Another problem. There's no microwave pyrolysis reactors that somebody has built in their backyard at home. They've only been industrial or scientific lab grade stuff. Solution. Figure out how to make it yourself at home, right? So there's tons of problems. If I was a pessimist and I was like, oh my goodness, it's never been done before in somebody's backyard, I give up. Then we would never be here today right now. We'd never. Miami, NWA, thank you for the badge on Instagram. Another badge. I appreciate you so much. Look, here's another example too. Right? Because pyrolysis has been around, microwave pyrolysis has been around. There's issues with things, pros and cons to everything. I've done tons of research. I know pretty much the pros and cons of pyrolysis, okay? Pros and cons of everything. But there's always solution. Every problem has a solution. And if you're thinking solution-oriented, you see it as, okay, I know that this thing has this problem, but through using science. Science is all about seeing one thing, proving it, disproving another thing. You know what I'm saying? You can discover a solution to it. Because think about how many things in science that we've been told that have been changed, right? They used to tell us one thing about fat, now they tell us a different thing about fat. One thing about calories, another thing about calories. Things get changed all the time. That's what science is. It adapts, right? So you got to stay in a realistic mindset. Not optimistic, because you got to be real. You can't be optimistic and be like destroying the environment. Like, we can't be optimistic and say, oh, well, at least ocean plastics are like, making islands for penguins. No, you can't be stupid. You can't be a bellend. That's how you get my balls dropped in your mouth acting like that. But you got to be realistic, right? And to be realistic is to say, we know that plastic comes from crude oil. We know we have a ton of it in the ocean. We know that if we could turn it back into crude oil, we have a ton of fuel just sat there in our ocean, right? That's being realistic right there. So let's see if this thing still has pressure in it. You guys know we pumped this air in probably almost 30 minutes ago. Let's see. Do the little dread test, right? Oh yeah, it still has pressure. It still has pressure, guys. This thing is airtight. This thing is hermetically sealed, guys, just like that. Ninya, thank you for the donation on the Cash App, the $3. Ninya, I appreciate you so much. You said let's throw Clemonarism in the plastic to fuel reactor. Oh, you guys must have it out for him or something. You know, I will say it like this. It can turn anything into fuel. Thank you for the stars on Facebook, Fons Castillo. Ashley Rodriguez, I'm trying to let you in here on the Instagram Live. However, I don't think it's going through. Thank you for the donation, Max Trend on TikTok. Yeah, I invited you to go live at Ashley, but I don't know if it's gonna work. Sometimes Instagram doesn't let certain people in. It's weird. I promise you, it's not me. You said make sure the guy with the truck actually runs a good start with it. Yeah, of course. You know, that's the amazing part, because we're not gonna be in a place of desperation. We're gonna be a place of I can make as much fuel as I want to. So we're gonna have time to do all the tests. All the tests. That's what we're all about, guys. I want to know just as much as you. I want to know just as much as you. Will it damage an engine? Will it run long term in an engine? Because we want to take this to market. We have to know that. I can't pretend. What's up, man?
Yo,
My boy.
my question is can I be your volunteer fire watch while you're testing your machine?
Yeah, of course. I'll never say no to that. Thank you, Mark 8, for the stars on Facebook. No, for real though, it's important. It's very important, because when I had to start my electrical fire, the electrical fire had been going for like probably 30 minutes before I actually saw it. So, you know, I'm gonna have sensors and alert systems this time around. I'm gonna have stuff in place.
Yeah, that's why I kept asking the question, because the good thing about pessimists is they help you problem solve.
Oh yeah, for sure. But so that's the good thing, right? Because you could turn, just like how we turn plastic into energy. Plastic is something we see as negative. We're turning it into something good. You, as somebody that takes in everything, you can take any energy and make it good. But I'm saying the issue with the pessimist is they themselves will never do anything, because they are always just in a defeatist mindset. But yes, if you are actually somebody who's a problem solver, pessimists are a problem, and you make it a solution. And your solution is take the energy. Free energy, right? And they give you free game, because they tell you problems. You're like, okay, maybe I didn't think about that before. Look it up, do your research, see how you can improve. Boom. So yeah, pessimists and optimists help me all alike. Everybody helps me.
Oh, I got another question. So when you heat it up, how do you have to be very careful not to burn yourselves? Do you have any like designs to help prevent that?
To stop me from burning myself when I heat up the machine?
Yeah, you just touch the outside of it.
No, well, the outside doesn't get all that hot, for one, because the microwaves heat up the plastic more than the metal. But we put insulation on the outside. So unfortunately, this sexy black machine is gonna get covered with insulation. But I'm trying to think of some way I can still make it retain a good look to it, because, you know, I really like this look.
Cool. Well, I'll talk to you later, man.
Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate you, man.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah, guys, this thing, I'm glad to see this, man. I'm glad to see we got this this pressure in here, and it's still holding great. Let me see what PSI it's at now. It's at 6 PSI after all the times we opened it up, after all this time of waiting. It's sealed, guys. It's sealed and dealed. So how old am I? I'm 20. It's sealed and dealed. We still got pressure in this thing. What's up?
Yo.
What's up? What's your question, man?
So I've been around for a while, and I have a couple questions.
Okay.
First, so you know how there's additives in plastic? When those are removed, right? Okay, are they removed during the distilling process, or are they turned to char in the reactor? Is my question. Like, do they become part of the oil and have to be distilled, or are they turned to ash and charred?
Yeah, it really depends on what the additive is, but let's say BPA, for example, right?
Okay.
If you have BPA in the plastic, BPA is an organic compound, meaning under the heat it will break apart, just like the plastic does itself. So it ends up in the product where the oil is, but once it's in the oil, it's not BPA anymore, because it's been broken down, a permanent chemical change. What does it turn to? I personally don't know what it turns to, but I do know that these molecules, right, that make up the plastic, or additives, if the additive is an organic thing like BPA, for example, it's going to break down. It won't be BPA anymore. It'll be something different, right? If it's inorganic, like talcum powder in plastic, it's going to end up being in the carbon product.
Okay, and so like during the distillery process, like into gas, diesel, and jet fuel, right? Like, is that like, do you know for certain that chemically it will be diesel, or is there room to believe that it might be slightly different? And if so, like,
So I'll tell you
to what
why.
extent is it
I'll tell
different?
you why I said it. When we distill them, we get diesel, gasoline, jet fuel. And you can actually go on my YouTube channel and see this yourself. So when you distill things, there's something called the boiling points, right?
Correct.
And that's the temperature at which you will get the fractions of this product. I distilled my pyrolysis oil, the mix of everything, right? And I based my distillation temperatures off of the actual crude oil temperatures that they put crude oil in, get gasoline, diesel, jet fuel at certain boiling points, right? So, for example, I think one of them, for example, gasoline is around a little bit over 100 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
At 100 Fahrenheit, I got a product out that looked like gasoline. Guess what I did? I took it. I did a flashpoint test. I saw if it lit from just a flame. It did. Around 200, got something that looked like kerosene, aka jet fuel. Guess what I did? Took it out, did a flashpoint test. Did it light from a lighter, like kerosene should not? It did not light from a lighter right away, just like kerosene doesn't. Around 250 Fahrenheit, I got diesel out. Right? That's the same temperature that in crude oil they get diesel out. Guess what? I did the same thing. Test the flashpoint. Does it light to a match or to a lighter? It does not, just like diesel does not. So I can't say, because I don't have the spectrometers and things to know exactly on a chemical level, but on a characteristic wise, on a flashpoint wise and viscosity wise and look wise, they operate and behave near identically, because we put them in all these engines. We put the diesel in diesel engines, the gasoline in gasoline engines. And
those are very good answers, actually.
Yeah.
I'm very, very, very satisfied with that.
Well, I'm glad to answer, man. Great question, man. Thank you very much.
Of course, man.
And I appreciate your support, man. You said you've been around for a while, so much love to you, man.
Yes, sir.
Much love, much love.
Much love.
Yeah, guys. So that's the great thing, right? Like I said, you can literally go on my YouTube channel and see it. The video is called "Distilling Diesel Out of Plastic Waste," and you will literally see. We pull up the chart of like what is used in the petrochemical industry when they take crude oil and get diesel, gasoline, jet fuel out, right? What temperatures, and we do the same thing, and we get those out at the same respective temperature, and then it matches up characteristic-wise. So it's like, well, at that point, I can't say for absolute fact it's diesel, but it sure as hell is close to diesel. It looks like diesel. It acts like diesel. It may not be diesel, but it sure is going to work the same as diesel in your truck. I don't think your truck engine is going to know the difference, right? And when we put these things in the engines, we ran the diesel go-kart engine, truck engine off of it. They work fine. Put the gasoline in the 2N 4-stroke weed whacker engine. It ran fine. Thank you for the donation on TikTok, Jesse Harris. So yeah, you got to test the flashpoint, because, okay, guys, we all know you take a lighter to a plate of gasoline, what's going to happen? The plate of gasoline is going to instantly blow up in flames, right? If you take a lighter to diesel, you can drop a match that's on fire in diesel and it won't light. I can do that with my plastic diesel. In fact, I have it right here. Look, I have plastic diesel right here. This is plastic diesel, and I have a lighter. If this was gasoline, even just holding this near this will set this on fire, right? I can literally put this flame on this, and it won't set on fire. Watch. See? That's how I was like, oh, this must be diesel, or at least jet fuel, or kerosene, because gasoline certainly does not. But guess what? Even though I do this, it will burn, though. It will burn under heat, but not this. You see, literally a flame right to it. It's not heating. The only way to make this heat up is if you have to have a blowtorch and blast it. So that's the difference. And look, this plastic diesel, I don't want to put it in the engine. It was all black, but legit. Look, this stuff is beautiful. It's red. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. You know what? I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but gotcha. You really thought I was gonna drink this? Gotcha. still got air in it. It's airtight. I mean, we've already proven that. You know, when I first made this fuel and I was showing it online, people always were like, drink it. How does it taste? Some people are like, it's his piss. Like, people just say some weird stuff, man. Why do you want me to drink? If it really is fuel and it's not my piss, why do you want me to drink it? Yes, we have indeed proven that this is airtight. We have indeed proven it's airtight. So, I mean, at this point, we're just playing around with it. It's sat there at 5.5 PSI right now, just having fun with it at this point. You said they're going to keep asking because they're really curious. Well, you know, look. We can have a barter, okay? What's up, man?
Hey, you can hear me?
Yeah, man. Hey, I like the hair, man.
I appreciate it. Hey, I was in your live, I think, like last week. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
So I just have a question. How much electricity does it take to fuel the arc reactor?
Well,
How much are you profiting?
I can only tell you those numbers on, not this one because we haven't run it yet, but Mark IV. So you want to know those numbers on Mark IV?
Yeah.
All right. So Mark IV had 3 magnetrons, the equivalent of turning on 3 microwaves at once. An average run of plastic, 20 pounds of plastic in there, would basically end up, it would take 5 hours, and every hour would be 5 kilowatt hours, so it would be 25 kilowatt hours of electricity total. For the whole run, 20 pounds of plastic. And when those 20 pounds of plastic, we get out natural gas, gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and a carbon product, right? And
So
all
you're
of
able
those
to change the product depending on how you distill it, is how I'm guessing you do that.
Yeah, so like we get the oil out, right? Which is a mix of all those things. And then we can distill to get the separate things out. But nonetheless, when I calculate these numbers, I calculate my numbers as if all the oil was gasoline to give us a margin. And the reason why is because gasoline out of between diesel and jet fuel actually has the lowest energy content. Now, I actually mostly get diesel, but I calculated it just as gasoline to give us a bigger margin, right? For error. So we combine that. Because think about it. I said natural gas, the liquids, gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and then carbon. All of those things are fuels because carbon is pretty much coal. It can burn, right? Natural gas can burn. Gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, of course, we know they can burn. So all those things combined with 25 kilowatt hours in electricity, we're getting out 48.8 kilowatt hours of electricity in the contents combined together. With this reactor here, batch.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
And you know, look.
Man, I'm a big fan.
Thank you, man. And look, if you want more specifics, go into my YouTube channel. In fact, it's not, you don't need to go all the way there. It's in my link tree, naturejab.info. It's the video in there. You watch the whole video all the way through. You'll see the calculations. You'll see the numbers, and I literally show you like the kilowatt reader. Like we literally consume 25 kilowatt hours, and we calculate this stuff out. And look, like I said, that was with this machine, which we've already proven this machine is inefficient, right? This machine is pretty much the equivalent of if somebody tried to come along, right, and they tried to lick all 3 of my balls at once with just 1 tongue. You need to do it twice with 2 tongues for maximum. I'm just saying, man, you gotta do it efficiency.
Yo. That's why you're a funny ass genius, bro. I love you. You have a good one.
Hey, you too, man.
That's
Much love, much love. So yeah, guys, that's what's up, man. I can't wait to see what the numbers on this one is. It's just gonna be crazy. I mean, we got an airtight that's huge because we're not going to have any leaks or pollution. And we're also not going to be losing any energy. Guys, if we have leaks or pollution, we're losing fuel and energy. John Atterbury, thank for the $5 on Cash App. He said, let me speak to you, brother. Are you in the chat anywhere, John Atterbury? Where are you at? Are you on TikTok? But I appreciate you, man, for the $5 on Cash App, man. I appreciate your donation, truly. But where are you at, though? Ricky Christian, thank you for the badge. I'll let you in, John, if you tell me where you are. Ricky Christian, thank you so much for the badge on Instagram. You said that example is crazy? Well, we know we're realistic. We gotta be realistic, right? We gotta be realistic. Mark IV, all right, I love her, right? I do, truly, because she's my baby. She was the reactor that let us know that building all of this would be worth it, because she showed us the efficiencies. But, come on, let's be real. She ain't good anymore. She's obsolete. She's not it anymore, guys. She's going in a museum. She's staying in a museum. You know, we're on to the next thing, okay? We're going from Felicia to Drake. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. It's time out with the old and with the new, all right? I love her. She's going in a museum or something, but it's time for the big things, the better things now. We're going to put a pressure release valve on this machine as well. I think we'll have like a 10 PSI pressure release valve. Obviously, it can hold pressure. Obviously, the weld's held up, guys. Look, guys, I remember when I made Mark IV, people roasted me so bad for those welds on there. So bad. Like, man, it was horrible. Anthony Basil Rodriguez, thank you for the badge on Instagram, man. You said, why don't you build a bigger machine? That's literally what I'm doing. If this isn't a bigger machine, then I don't know. I don't know what you classify as bigger, but... You said, what does it do to the engine? We're going to do some long engine tests. Hey!
Hello.
And first of all, I'd like to thank you so much for the badges. I appreciate you. You're always so supportive, so I truly appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm doing amazing. What about yourself?
I'm alive. I'm always alive.
All right. Well, what's your question?
So for me personally, now that we have no air leaks, right? And it's a go-ahead, and I'm really happy that it's bigger. It's also black. But that's a side note. What is next for us? What is the journey?
Next, that's a great question. So immediately what I'm going to do next, now that we know this is airtight, is I'm going to start putting these pipe fittings on here, right? So this is going to be, for example, this is going to be the outlet, right? But what's actually going to be, the only thing that's going to be welded to this tank is this part here, because these all clamped together, right? So this part right here actually is made to be welded to a reactor or a machine. And then once this is welded, we can clamp this onto there, the rest of the pipes, right? So that's what I'm going to do next, now that I know it's completely airtight. Because that will then allow us to load in plastic, get the fuels out. Next, we're going to start building the blades, right? Because these machines have blades on the inside that spin. Now, this is 100 inches long. There are going to be a lot of blades that are going to go in here. So it's going to take a while to build those blades, right? But after we build those blades, and those are done, then the last thing we have to build, pretty much, are the mounts for the microwaves. They're called waveguides, and there's a lot we have to build. We have to build around 12 of them, right? And these things, you can see them on Mark IV here. All these boxes, we have to build 12 of these, and they take a long time. For example, just for reference, like a single box takes almost 2 hours to build, and we got 12, so that's 24 hours, right? So it's going to take some time, but the good news is we're all along for the journey, and ultimately, I give this machine about another month until it's ready to test run.
Wow.
So we're ready. We're close.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. And thank you again for your support. It means so much to me in the project, truly.
No, please. I'm really enjoying just watching your development. This is amazing.
Well, I'm glad to have you along for the journey, and everybody else as well. Thank you all for being here.
For sure.
Well, thank you for your question. You stay blessed.
Bye, hon.
Yes, guys, we're almost there. I'm so excited, honestly, because, listen, guys, I've been MIA. I haven't run a plastic-to-fuel reactor in almost 2 years, okay? I can't tell you guys how long I've been waiting to run it again, man. I can't tell you, man, because this is my thing. I love this, like, because it's something different when the trash, something that you knew like before, like I pretty much just have to put this in the trash because it's not going to be recycled. Nothing can be done. When you know that I could then turn this into energy, man, and run my car off of it. It's so exciting. It's exhilarating. It's something. And look, the best part is Bigger audience than ever before now. We all are here now. It's crazy. It's like you guys are here too. This is gonna be crazy. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you, man. That's why I'm grinding so hard. I'm making big progress every day. Because I can't wait for this thing to be done. Thank you, Jesse Harris, for the donations on TikTok. I appreciate you guys so much. Does it work? This does not work yet. Right now, we're just doing a little pressure test with air. Matter of fact, guys, it's still set at 5.5 psi where we left it. Let's just go ahead and let all the air out. We've already proven that it's airtight. It works. Let's let it all out. Yeah. We've already proven it's airtight. That's what's up. We did it. The welds are good. The gaskets are good. The manway is good. It's all good. Now we progress. Major step forward. Thank you for the donations, guys, on TikTok. Thank you. Thank you, Troy Boy. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, who else? Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Yes, Jesse, Troy Boy, Indigo Lightning. Thank you, guys. Yeah, guys, it's amazing. Because I will say, all of my past reactors had huge issues with being truly airtight. This is the first one that has been truly airtight and would truly hold pressure for an extended period of time. I mean, that pressure's been in there for over an hour now. You saw it there. Airtight, let's do it, guys. Thank you, Troy Boy, again for the donations. You said your dad said he really loves the welds? Well, thank you to your dad, Troy Boy. I welded my heart out on this thing. I went crazy. You guys knew because I was live streaming me welding. I'd be sat there for hours welding this thing, you know, because I was like, it has to be airtight. We can't have leaks. So I'm like, we just gonna sit there and I'm gonna keep welding until it's done. 6 passes on each thing. I don't care. You said he's been watching you the whole time. Great job. Hey, much love to your dad, man. Much love to your dad and you as well, man. I appreciate you guys for the support. Truly. Yeah, guys. But listen, thank you for stopping by for the live stream. Thank you all for your donations. I appreciate it so much. It's all going to the project, as you can see. And then sometimes I say, like, your donations help more than you can ever see or know. But obviously, you can see and know where they're going. They're going to this thing right here. I mean, it's just crazy how big this is. It's crazy. I can't even tell you. Because, like, Mark IV, if I wanted to, I could, like, pick it up if I absolutely wanted to, right? Put some legs into it. This one... we gotta have Mr. Olympus come haul this one on his shoulder, right? You know, we're gonna have to haul this on a trailer. This won't even fit in the back of a truck now. Mark IV would. Okay, Mark IV can fit on the back of a pickup truck. This one won't. But yeah, guys, we're gonna be doing more progress. I mean, just look at the size difference, guys. Again, I always say the same thing for the same reason, but I mean, the size difference. Come on now. Like, we're making big moves, guys. Huge moves. I told you guys. 2024, big things are happening. Literally big things are happening. All of my big balls are going in your mouth. Okay, now I'm just playing on that one. Unless you don't listen to what I'm saying and you have me wasting my time and you're not listening in class, you're not paying attention, then that's what happens. But fortunately, you guys are very attentive. You pay attention in class. You answer my quiz questions right, so you don't have to worry about that punishment, right? So anyways, guys, thank you all for stopping by. Hopefully we'll be going live again tomorrow. Hopefully with some more updates. Yeah, guys, it's coming along very good. So thank you all so much for your support and your donations and for being here as well. Let's change the world.